The world loves fairy tales, stories where love conquers all. For a moment, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle seemed to embody that dream. Their 2018 wedding was a symbol of hope, a bridge between tradition and modernity. But fairy tales rarely account for real-world pressures. The glare of royal life, relentless media scrutiny and family tensions soon took their toll. The Sussexes' decision to step back from royal duties and move to California shocked the world. Their departure sparked fierce debate. Was it an act of self-preservation or abandonment? Now, years later, the story has shifted from romance to survival. Meghan's recent silence has become the subject of speculation. Columnist Amanda Platell warns this quiet is not peace, but a strategic pause before a storm. Is Meghan's absence a sign of contentment or a prelude to a final sad chapter? The once constant stream of Sussex headlines has faded. The world waits, wondering what this silence truly means. Meghan once dominated headlines, her voice shaping public debate. After moving to America, she and Harry launched interviews, podcasts and documentaries, determined to control their narrative. For a while, their story was everywhere, but recently, Meghan has vanished from the public eye. She's been absent from causes she once championed and silent during royal family milestones. This is a stark contrast to her previous activism. Her silence is not just absence, it's a statement that invites speculation. Observers like Amanda Platell see this as a calculated move or perhaps exhaustion. When a public figure who built a platform on speaking out falls quiet, the world leans in, searching for meaning. Is this defeat, strategy, or simply the need for peace? The answer remains hidden behind closed doors. Meghan's silence has become the story itself. The world is left to interpret what it means. Meghan's silence could be self-preservation after years of relentless scrutiny. The pressures of media, public criticism and family rifts would exhaust anyone. Perhaps she's chosen to focus on her family and well-being, away from the spotlight. Or maybe this is a strategic pause, a time to recalibrate after mixed success in media ventures. In the competitive world of public life, quiet reflection can be wise. The family rift may also play a role. Silence could be a gesture of respect or a step toward reconciliation. Sometimes saying less is the only way to heal. Or perhaps after seeking freedom in California, this is what true independence looks like. The freedom to choose privacy, to raise children away from constant scrutiny. Meghan's quiet may not be a strategy or a sign of trouble. It could simply be the sound of a family living life on their own terms. Silence, in this case, might be the truest expression of the life they wanted. The world can only guess. Amanda Platell warns that Meghan's silence risks losing control of her story. In today's media, a vacuum is quickly filled. If you don't speak, others will speak for you. The Sussexes once fought to correct the record. Now, silence could undo that work. Critics and commentators may shape the narrative in their absence. Platell predicts this will lead to a negative public image and professional setbacks. Silence, she argues, is not a shield but a void filled by critics. The risk becoming isolated, their voices drowned out by relentless criticism. In the court of public opinion, absence is often seen as weakness. Platell's warning, if you don't claim your story, someone else will, and it may not be fair. The consequences could be lasting and deeply unhappy. In public life, silence creates a vacuum that others rush to fill. Meghan's absence from the conversation gives critics the chance to define her story. Their interpretations and speculations can become accepted truth. Without a counter-narrative, misinformation spreads, and headlines become more damaging. Meghan risks becoming a passive character in her own story, her motives defined by others. The peace she seeks through silence may instead create a more hostile environment, We've seen this before. Public figures who retreat are often judged harshly. The resulting narrative is shaped by media needs, not reality. Meghan's silence could overshadow her advocacy and personal story. The danger, a damaging story written by others, difficult to reclaim. Silence in a storm can be perilous. What does a sad conclusion look like for Harry and Meghan? One possibility, a slow fade into irrelevance, their early promise forgotten. Their brand could weaken, their projects lose impact, their voices go unheard. Or they could become permanent villains in the royal drama, their silence seen as guilt. This would be tragic, especially if their goal was to protect their family and do good. The pressure of a negative narrative can strain even the strongest relationships. Platell hints at a future where external criticism erodes their partnership. The saddest outcome? Losing their purpose, their chance to make a difference. If silence costs them public trust, their legacy could be one of unfulfilled promise. The story could end not with scandal, but with what might have been. Silence is powerful, sometimes a sign of peace, sometimes a warning. In public life, it's rarely neutral. It can be seen as strength or weakness. In families, silence can heal or divide, depending on what's left unsaid. Meghan's silence sits at the intersection of public image and private pain. Is it protest, dignity, or resignation? The ambiguity is what makes it so compelling and so fraught. We project our own experiences onto her story, seeing strength or regret. Her silence becomes a mirror for our understanding of conflict and communication. It reminds us silence is never just absence. It shapes our world in unpredictable ways. Meghan's quiet is both a personal and public act, with consequences in both spheres. The debate over her silence reflects our own struggles with when to speak and when to hold back. In the end, silence is a force that can heal or harm. The Sussex story isn't over. Meghan's silence could be a prelude to something new. Platell's prediction is only one possible future. Meghan may be preparing for a powerful comeback, ready to reclaim her narrative. Reconciliation with the royal family, though distant, isn't impossible. Time and shared experiences can heal even deep wounds. Perhaps this quiet is a necessary pause before a new chapter. The most hopeful outcome? A life where the Sussexes balance public work with private peace. Achieving this would require change from them, the media, and the public. Ultimately, Meghan's next move will be significant. The Sussexes have shown resilience before. Don't underestimate their ability to surprise. The next chapter is unwritten, and silence may simply be the calm before the story continues. Meghan's silence is a reminder of the power and risk of saying nothing. In a noisy world, silence can be defiance, wisdom, or peace, but it can also be surrender, allowing others to define your story. The dilemma: when is silence strength and when is it abdication? Meghan's quiet is a blank page, open to interpretation. Is she planning her next move, seeking refuge, or simply lost in the storm? We can only watch and reflect on the forces at play. Let's not rush to judgment. The meaning of this chapter will only be clear with time. The story of Harry and Meghan is far from over. In our own lives, we must consider, when does silence protect and when does it harm?